Hello and welcome to Get Paid, Be Free. My name is Josh Forti. This show is where we use clear thinking, proven principles, and unconventional approaches to help you get paid and be free so you can escape the soul-sucking monetary system that is stealing your life away. Why? Well, because I believe that the world is better off when the doers, the makers, the entrepreneurs, the producers are free from financial worry on a daily basis, where they don't have to worry about how they're going to go and pay the bills and instead can focus on being who God has called them to be and doing what God has called them to do. Now, my name is Josh Forti and I am your host, but this show is not about me, it's about you. And it's centered around one core big idea. But before I tell you what that big idea is, I need to back up and give some context because it's helpful to understand this because the whole rest of the show is going to be centered around this core thing. And it's important that we understand how we got here. Over the past decade or so, I've helped my clients make somewhere in the range of $40 to $50 million. And these aren't like big corporations and companies. These are like 6- and 7-figure entrepreneurs that are trying to set themselves free through business. And so they have online businesses, online service providers, online business professionals, people like that. They're using their business to try to get ahead in life and create freedom in their life so they can go have the impact that they want and the life that they want. Currently, I have a business called The Golden Mic, and I have 3 full-time employees, so there's 4 of us, and we help online service providers and business professionals scale their business to 7 figures with maximum margin using the Get Paid, Be Free model and what we call a golden mic. However, when I first got started in business, about a decade ago now is when I first started my first one, I believed that transformation, right? The transformation that I wanted in business, the success, the results, the going from broke little old Josh to the successful entrepreneur that I wanted to be, that transformation came through learning. That's what I thought. And so I went and learned. I watched the courses. I bought the courses. I watched the videos. I read the books. I did all of the things when it came to learning. I studied and I applied. Yet for 6 straight years, I went working my tail off, working nights and evenings and weekends and like every waking moment of the day, so much so that I sacrificed, my relationships oftentimes and gave up friendships. I mean, like really all in. And for 6 straight years, I did not cross the $1 million mark. Think about this. I'm sure you've been there as well. How hard have you tried over the past several years? How hard have you tried to make that $1 million? How hard have you tried to hit that goal? No matter what I did, I couldn't do it. And what was frustrating, the most frustrating part, was that I would have moments of success, moments of breakthrough, where I would go and it would feel like I'm having success. It would feel like I've finally broken through, only to then fall right back to where I was at right when I started, or right where I was at before that transformation. I couldn't figure out why. And see, the reason that this was happening was because I had an incorrect belief. Transformation does not come through learning. Transformation must be felt, experienced. And that is the core concept of this entire show. See, I am not here to teach you anything. You don't need more information. You certainly don't need me teaching you something, some random guy on the internet in front of a golden microphone in a Cybertruck being like, yes, this is how you should live your life. Let me teach you. You don't need that. The purpose of this show is for you to experience, to feel it. And I'm going to get into how we're doing that in the actual structure here in just a moment. However, about 4 years ago, I hired a coach, but not just any coach, a very, very powerful coach. Because I want to tell you this story because this is how I experienced and felt the transformation in my life for the first time. I hired this coach because I was frustrated with where I was at. I had made my clients millions of dollars at that point. I had grown millions of followers on social media for our clients. We had a huge network. I had produced a lot of external results for other people, yet I was still stuck exactly where I was, and I could not get ahead from that. And I was confused. And so long story short, I had some pretty traumatic experiences happen, and I find myself sitting in a basement of my wife's mom's house going, okay, I need help. I need someone to come in and show me exactly what to do. And so I ended up hiring a coach by the name of Katie. Now, when I got on the phone with Katie, it was very clear that she wasn't a normal coach because when I said, okay, well, what exactly are you going to teach me? And she goes, nothing. And I'm like, wait a second, hold on. I'm hiring you as a coach. Like, what are you going to teach me? And she said, nothing. I said, okay, so like what's in the course videos? Like what's in the, in the information, in the materials? And she goes, oh, there's no course. There's no login. There's none of that. And I'm like, I'm confused. I'm paying you so that you can teach me, so you can learn. And she said, no, Josh, you're not paying me and hiring me to learn something. And that's why that's not what I'm going to do. I said, all right, so what are you going to do? And she said, I am going to show you how to be powerful. And I said, so you're going to teach me how to be powerful? She said, no, Josh, I'm going to show you. And I said, okay, what's the difference? She said, Josh, how long have you tried to learn how to do the next thing? I said, well, for a long time, 6 years it had been. And she said, that's exactly right. And in that moment, that was my first taste of something new, something that was different than all of the other courses, all the other coaches, all the other mentors that was out there. She said, Josh, I'm going to show you how to be powerful. I'm not going to teach you it. I'm not going to teach you anything that you don't already know. Instead, I'm going to show you it, because what you need is you need to experience it. You need to feel it for yourself. And so I hired her. She was a lot of money. We'll get into that story more at a later episode. I hired her. I had been trying for 6 years to get my business to the $1 million mark. 4 months after working with this coach, I had my first $100,000 cash collected week. I did over $150,000 in sales, and over $100,000 of it was cash collected in my bank account. Wild, transformative. And in that moment, I experienced transformation. I felt it. And that is the core premise of what must happen. If you want to achieve the success that you want to have, if you want to get paid and be free, then you must feel what that transformation is like. You must experience what the new way of doing things is applied in your life and in your business. Because once you feel it, that is when everything changes. And so that is the core premise of Get Paid, Be Free. Now, how are we going to go about doing that? Because that's a big promise, I understand. Well, here's how. On the show, I'm going to be bringing on entrepreneurs like you and sitting down with them and helping them figure out what their goals are, what the problem is that is preventing them from getting from where they're at to where it is that they want to be, using a process we call red dot, blue dot, but we'll get into that more later, okay? But I'm going to figure out, okay, where are you at? Where is it that you want to be? And what is preventing that from happening? Then, live on the show, I'm going to apply our frameworks, our models, our approach using clear thinking and proven principles and an unconventional approach. We're going to apply those, what we teach, on them. I'm going to do things like pitch them their offer back to them. I'm going to show them what their messaging would sound like. I'm going to show them what it would feel like in order to, or when you would handle an objection, or when you build an offer and pitch it and present it a certain way. I'm going to show them what it would feel like when you have a team that actually works, because I've been through the struggles of having a team that doesn't work, not making enough, not charging enough, not knowing how to do positioning. I've been through all the struggles for 6 years. But once I felt it, once I experienced it, that's when it was the $1 million mark. And then again, and then again, and then again. And in the last 2 years alone, not only have I built 3 different 7-figure businesses and currently have a multi-7-figure business, but we've helped multiple entrepreneurs go and create 7-figure businesses, and dozens create multiple 6-figure businesses on their way to 7 figures as well. How? By helping them experience and feel the transformation in their life so they can go out and execute it. That is the premise of this show. And we're calling it Get Paid, Be Free. Why? Because we believe, again, that if you want to be free, you must learn how to get paid. But transformation, the transformation of getting paid, the transformation of freedom does not happen unless you first experience it. That's why we're here. And I'm very, very excited about it. Now, a little bit more, here's how this is going to be about you, okay? Every week, we are going to be doing content. And I'm not just going to pull random people. I am looking for very specific types of people. And I very possibly want to interview you. And so on my email list, we're going to be emailing out every week the people that we're looking for next. If we're wanting to, have a service provider that's at the 6-figure level with an accounting firm that doesn't have their offer figured out, or maybe it's a service provider or a graphic designer that needs to learn how to raise their prices, or maybe it's someone who they've got plenty of business, they're at the multi-6-figure level, but their team isn't working and they want to hire their first real A-player team member and figure out the systems that go around that. We're going to be calling out those specific things so that we can really create and cultivate an experience. And if you want to be one of those people, then I want to invite you to join our email list. there'll be a link down below this video where you can opt in, and we're gonna be sending out those emails, and you can apply to be part of the show. On the show, if you are selected, you'll fill out a short application, we'll review it, and if you're selected, then we will send you a questionnaire where you can sit down, or where we can collect some information about you, and I can do some pre-work. And then on the show, you will come on, and for about 45 minutes, I will sit down with you, one-on-one, just in a setting like this, and it will be published out live. But I'll sit down with you, and I will help identify where is it that you're stuck? Like, what's your current situation look like? I'll let you fill me in on what's working, what's not working. We'll get that really clear picture. Then we'll figure out where it is that you want to go and get a very clear picture on that. And then I will work with you right there live to apply our frameworks to your situation, solve the problem, and then show you what it would look like and feel like if you were to have that in your business right then, by actually demonstrating it to you live on the show. These will be published out on YouTube and the other different platforms so that others can experience the transformation as well. And our goal is to make this incredibly interactive, incredibly community-focused, and really bring together a community of entrepreneurs and makers and producers and doers that want to get paid and be free and escape this broken system that is quite literally rigged against us. I'm very, very excited for this. And if you want to join us on this journey, then subscribe to the show, join the email list. And if you're really ambitious and are over the top, feel free to reach out. We'll link my assistant's email down below as well. Feel free to reach out to us and say, hey, I would like to be on the show. Here's why I would be a good fit for the show. You can also hit me up on Instagram. I'm very active on there. And we would love for you to go and be a part of this. The way I like to think about this is imagine this as like a coaching session, but a different type of coaching session. Not one where you tell me a problem and then I give you an answer and say, go, but one where I actually sit down with you and help you experience the transformation right there. The power of transformation applied to your business in real time. All right, that's it. That's all I've got. Welcome to Get Paid, Be Free. I'm so glad you're here, and I cannot wait to see where this goes. In the next episode, we'll have one more solo episode where I will be filling you in on how this is going to work and kind of some of the operating principles and values and way this will operate. But then on episode 3, that is when we will start doing the interviews and having you experience the transformation there in real time. Welcome to the show. I'll see you in the next episode.